From being sexually assaulted by basketball legend Wilt Chamberlain to a secret relationship that lasted more than 20 years, this is the mysterious, fascinating, and quite surprising love life of Cassandra Elvira Peterson. When comparing Cassandra Peterson, especially her Elvira persona, to other sex symbols, a very clear difference emerges. In this video, we will share the untold stories about the life of Cassandra Peterson, while also showing you some of her rare photos. Cassandra Peterson's story began in Manhattan, Kansas, where she was born in 1951. Yet her early years were marked by tragedy. At just 18 months old, she suffered severe burns in a terrible accident, with 35% of her body scarred. That early trauma shaped her life in unimaginable ways, laying the foundation for a journey defined by challenges and triumphs. At the age of 8, while most children were still trembling at ghost stories, Cassandra was mesmerized by the glowing screen of House on Haunted Hill. The film planted a strange fascination in her young mind, a blend of fear and allure that opened the door to the dark Gothic world she would one day command. That passion never faded. Instead, it quietly grew, waiting for the right moment to ignite. By 17, while many of her peers were preparing for college, Cassandra boldly steered her destiny elsewhere. Inspired by the film Viva Las Vegas and her idol Elvis Presley, the slender teenager left Kansas for Las Vegas, the city of sin, with dreams of becoming a dazzling showgirl under the bright lights. But behind the glittering curtain was a harsh reality. Exhausting go-go dancing nights, mounting bills, and sneaking through back doors of hotels because she was still too young to enter the front. The golden stage and the cold back corridors created two parallel worlds, one glamorous, one lonely, and Cassandra stood lost between them. During those years, she discovered a community free of judgment, the LGBTQ+ scene and the drag performers of Las Vegas. In a place where people lived boldly in their truest, most dazzling selves, Cassandra learned to understand and celebrate difference. From those nights of costumes and glitter, the earliest seeds of her later persona, strange, daring, and fiercely feminist, began to take root in her mind. Then one night, destiny appeared in a familiar form: Elvis Presley. A brief encounter with the king of rock and roll became one of the greatest turning points in her life. Elvis saw something in Cassandra that no one else had noticed, and said plainly, "You shouldn't stay here. This isn't the place for you." Those words, simple yet resonant, were like a key unlocking another door to her future. Cassandra listened. She left Las Vegas, carrying both her scars and her lessons, and set out on a new journey, acting and singing. From small roles in Europe to nights on stage with Italian rock bands, she kept pushing forward, tirelessly experimenting. Each failure only made her rise again, stronger, bolder, and more radiant. And then, in 1971, fortune finally smiled. Cassandra landed her first film role in the James Bond movie Diamonds Are Forever. It was just a silent part as a showgirl dancer, but for the first time, the camera lights shone directly on her. Not the cold stage lights of Las Vegas, but the lights of Hollywood. A small role, yet a monumental moment. The instant an unknown showgirl began her transformation into the legendary horror queen, Elvira. After her fleeting role in Diamonds Are Forever, Cassandra Peterson chose an unexpected path. She left behind the newly opened doors of Hollywood and flew straight to Italy. It wasn't a reckless adventure, but rather the bold leap of a young woman who had just tasted the sweetness of cinema for the first time. Cassandra knew that if she stayed put, she would remain just a fleeting face on the silver screen. But if she dared to step into foreign lands, she could be completely reborn as a true artist, And Italy, with its intoxicating air of art, music, and fashion, welcomed her like a fresh breeze. Here, Cassandra shed her glittering showgirl image and transformed into a rocker, a daring reinvention that shocked anyone who had known her in Las Vegas. She became the lead singer for two Italian rock bands, I Latin's 880 and The Snails, names that may not have shaken the world, but were strong enough to turn local stages into launch pads. Night after night, Cassandra stood before passionate Italian crowds, her voluminous hair swaying under colored lights, her fiery voice tearing through the smoky bar air. Amid roaring guitars and pounding drums, she learned to command the stage, to command the audience's gaze, and most importantly, to command herself. Touring across Italy transformed Cassandra into someone entirely new. She sang in ancient squares in Rome, on sunlit beaches in the south, and in tiny theaters hidden along cobblestone alleys. Each city gifted her a piece of the puzzle, a habit, an Italian phrase, a fresh stage presence. And each night, back in a modest hotel room, she quietly wrote journal entries in halting Italian, as if to affirm she was living a new life, no longer timid or afraid. But music was only half the story. The other half, the fateful half, came from what seemed like a passing encounter. At a film party, Cassandra caught the gaze of Federico Fellini, the legendary director famed for turning the bizarre and surreal into poetry on screen. Fellini saw something different in the young American woman, an imperfect beauty, a wild energy tinged with fragility. He invited Cassandra to appear in his film Roma, 1972. For many, it was just a minor role, but for Cassandra, it was a breakthrough. Stepping onto Fellini's set felt like entering another world, a place where there were no boundaries between reality and dream, between human and character. The camera glided past smoky corridors, bizarrely painted faces, and scenes both chaotic and breathtakingly beautiful. And in the midst of it all, Cassandra appeared, small but radiant, feeling for the first time the true power of artistic cinema. The experience left a deep imprint on her, planting the seeds of her later acting style, bold, mysterious, and unafraid to break free from convention. Her years in Italy became the most radiant period of her artistic coming of age. She was no longer the awkward showgirl of Las Vegas, nor just a young actress taking her first steps. She was a nomadic artist, fluent in multiple languages, capable of captivating audiences with a single glance, and able to immerse herself in different cultures while still holding on to her unique identity. Each song, each role, each city she passed through added another layer of color to her artistic essence. When Cassandra returned to America, her career was on the brink of taking a thrillingly macabre turn. Could a single audition really transform an unknown actress into a horror icon? The birth of Elvira is living proof of the power of quick wit and improvisation. In 1979, Peterson joined the improv comedy troupe The Groundlings, a crucial step that would shape her future. It was here that she developed a Valley Girl character, unwittingly laying the foundation for the most iconic role of her career just 2 years later. Then came the opportunity that would change her life forever. KHJ-TV in Los Angeles was holding auditions for the host of a new late-night horror movie show, and Peterson decided to give it a shot. She had no idea that this audition would mark the birth of Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. At the audition, Peterson's improvisational skills lit up the room. Drawing on her experiences and characters she had developed with the Groundlings, she created Elvira right on the spot. Her quick wit, combined with a unique blend of humor and horror, immediately caught the producer's attention. Peterson later described Elvira as a quirky misfit, a reflection of her own teenage self, a character seamlessly mixing comedy with sensuality. Crafting Elvira's iconic look was a collaborative effort. Peterson worked with her friend Robert Redding to shape the character's visual style. They pulled inspiration from diverse sources, kabuki theater, and the towering hairstyles of 1960s girl groups like the Ronettes. The result was a striking, instantly recognizable image for audiences worldwide. But bringing Elvira to the public wasn't without obstacles. The production team faced a crisis when they were forced to abandon the original name Vampira due to legal issues. In a moment of desperation, they drew names from a coffee can. By this strange twist of fate, Elvira was chosen. Another stroke of destiny in the character's creation. On September 26, 1981, a strange new phenomenon was born on KHJTV, Elvira's Movie Macabre. Before viewers' eyes, Cassandra Peterson transformed into Elvira, the Mistress of the Dark, with razor-sharp eyes, a plunging black gown, and a sly smile hiding an arsenal of double entendres. Unlike traditional horror hosts who aim to frighten, Elvira was something entirely different. She teased, mocked, and seduced her audience. It was this fusion of sharp humor and gothic flair that made Elvira stand out instantly, piercing the heart of American pop culture in the early 1980s. What began as a local late-night show quickly spread like wildfire. Every weekend, millions of Americans tuned in to hear Elvira's provocative jokes while she poked fun at B-movies filled with zombies, monsters, and buckets of gore. From a nearly forgotten midnight slot, Movie Macabre went national. And with it, Elvira's image was everywhere. Posters, comic books, plastic figurines, even Halloween costumes. In a short time, Elvira was no longer just a TV character. She was a full-fledged icon, embodying rebellion, freedom, and the audacity to laugh at the frightening. What made Elvira special wasn't just the sultry look or the daring humor, but the way Cassandra Peterson poured her life into the character. She blended the comedic instincts honed in Las Vegas bars, the artistic sensibilities absorbed from her years in Italy, and her childhood passion for horror, weaving them all together into an Elvira who was eccentric, witty, and irresistibly charming. At a time when women on television were often confined to stereotypes, Elvira shattered expectations, proving that a female host could dominate the horror genre with wit rather than fear. But the brighter the spotlight, the darker the shadows. At the height of Elvira's success, a sudden legal storm loomed. Mila Nurmi, once famous for her 1950s character Vampira, filed a lawsuit against Cassandra, accusing her of creating a knockoff. It was a moment of peril. If she lost, Peterson risked losing everything, from her show to the reputation she had just built. Yet with the sharp wit that had become her trademark, she fought relentlessly. In the end, the court ruled that simply wearing a black dress and having a spooky look could not be considered exclusive intellectual property. Peterson won, and not only kept Elvira, but also set an important precedent in the entertainment industry about the boundary between inspiration and imitation. After the lawsuit, Elvira didn't just survive, she exploded in popularity like never before. The 1980s witnessed the expansion of the Elvira brand into a mini-empire. T-shirts, dolls, comic books, video games, and countless merchandise flooded the market. Unlike many performers whose images were controlled by production companies, Cassandra Peterson had skillfully negotiated to retain full ownership of Elvira, a strategic move that would later become her lifeline. So when KHJTV suddenly lost its broadcasting license due to fraud, many assumed Elvira's career would collapse with it. But Peterson refused to fall. Because she owned the character outright, she swiftly moved Elvira onto other platforms: late-night TV shows, fan conventions, Halloween events, and advertising campaigns. While many TV personalities of the era were buried by the industry's upheavals, Elvira marched through the decades, defying the brutal shifts of the entertainment market. In 1988, Cassandra Peterson reached a major milestone in her artistic journey when she brought Elvira from the small screen to the big screen with Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. For the first time, the sharp-tongued horror hostess wasn't just commenting on other people's movies. She became the star of her own story. The film was a lavish feast of everything that defined the Elvira brand: vibrant Gothic visuals, playful humor, and that unmistakable seductive flair. Her successful leap from television to film not only proved Peterson's versatility, but also elevated Elvira to the level of a true pop culture icon, beloved far beyond America's borders. Yet behind the dazzling lights of the red carpet, Peterson was living through years steeped in loss. The 1980s saw the devastating rise of the HIV epidemic, which claimed the lives of countless artists in the entertainment world. Peterson once admitted with deep sorrow, "I lost so many friends and colleagues to this disease." Among those losses, the most painful was the death of Robert Redding, her close friend and creative partner, who had helped shape the Elvira image from the very beginning. His passing was not only a profound personal tragedy, but also felt like a piece of her artistic soul had been taken away. What's remarkable is that in the midst of such emotional turmoil, she managed to keep Elvira at her peak, still witty, playful, and always capable of making audiences laugh. It wasn't about hiding her grief, but about channeling it into extraordinary strength. Peterson transformed pain into power, and loss into fuel for continued creativity. The stark contrast between the playful Elvira on stage and the contemplative Cassandra behind the scenes made the character even more layered, relatable, and human to the public. Even after conquering the entertainment world as Elvira, Peterson's private life remained a mystery for decades. To the public, the name Cassandra Peterson was almost interchangeable with Elvira, the sultry, sharp-witted horror hostess who captivated millions. But behind the teased hair and plunging black gown, Peterson held on to personal stories that would surprise even her most devoted fans. In 2021, she published her memoir, Yours Cruelly, Elvira, a work that was both a confession and a journey of liberation. No longer just witty anecdotes, Peterson for the first time shared the parts of her life she had kept hidden for decades, the shadows she thought would never see the light. The most shocking revelation was her nearly 20-year love story with Teresa Weirson. For years, Peterson lived with the fear that even a single admission could destroy everything she had built. "I was afraid that if I came out any sooner, I might have ruined my career," she wrote. The fear of losing her fans, contracts, and Elvira's image once made her choose silence, burying her bisexual identity beneath the white makeup of her stage persona. But one day, Peterson realized the scariest thing wasn't losing the spotlight. It was continuing to live as a role even off stage. And when she finally stepped into the light, she felt as though a massive weight had been lifted. I felt relieved. I didn't feel like a phony anymore. Coming out about her relationship with Weirson not only brought Peterson personal freedom, it also cemented her as a courageous LGBTQ+ advocate. In her memoir, she recounted with her trademark humor that even Elvira embraced the spirit of free love and was a total horn dog. Yet beneath the joke was a deeper truth, that diversity and difference don't diminish anyone. They can, in fact, be a source of strength. Her relationship with Weirson, whom she now proudly calls her partner for life, gave Peterson profound support after her divorce from Mark Pearson and allowed her to enjoy happiness openly, no longer hiding from public scrutiny. Of course, courage came with a cost. Upon revealing her same-sex relationship, Peterson immediately lost 11,000 followers on social media. But what she hadn't expected was that the love she received would far outweigh the loss. "My most loyal fans don't care what I do. Most of them said that living my truth made them love me even more," she shared. That acceptance felt like a collective embrace, soothing the years she had lived in fear and secrecy. It also proved that Elvira's appeal wasn't just about the makeup. Fans loved her for her honesty and uniqueness, not for conforming to any mold. Yours cruelly. Elvira was not just a story about love. It was also where Peterson bravely confronted the traumas that haunted her. She revealed having been sexually assaulted, including an incident involving basketball player Wilt Chamberlain, a painful memory she carried for many years. Speaking out about it not only helped her heal, but also contributed to the broader conversation about sexual violence and the experiences of survivors in the entertainment industry. In every page, readers saw not only a pop culture icon, but also a woman working to piece together the fragments of her own life. Through it all, Peterson has preserved the essence that makes Elvira timeless, the ability to adapt and reinvent without losing her core. For more than 4 decades, Elvira has remained magnetic to longtime fans while captivating new generations. The secret lies in that delicate balance between change and authenticity, something only someone like Cassandra Peterson, who dared to live, love, and face herself truthfully, could achieve. And this time, when the makeup came off, she was no longer Elvira, but herself, stronger than ever.